Так, что-то довольно.
Very, very blessed meeting. Aquí estamos todos.
Серега, вот микрофон.
Давай микрофон, Серег. Серег.
Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
First of all, I want to thank this administration for hosting us today, for giving us the opportunity, and for hearing us out, the small guys. Round of applause for this president, for the chief of staff, Meadows. Round of applause, I'm waiting. So, we went in there. Jim Mullen was there, chief of staff. The other guy that writes executive orders, what's his name? Derek. He works with all the executive orders for the president. We broke it down to them about transparency, what it's all about, what exactly we want, how do we see it. We broke it down about price gouging, collusion, antitrust issue, and he said, so is this an antitrust issue? We said, yes, it is. We had Jim Mullen there kind of presenting his case on behalf of Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration. We kind of broke it down, and actually we found out that Mr. Meadows was a broker back in the day. So we explained to them what this will fix, and then we had Jim. Jim wanted to kind of break it down and explain to him that, hey, if we have Pepsi working with Coca-Cola, they don't want to disclose what they're paying the broker or the shipper, essentially. And he looked at me, he's like, what are you talking about? Why not? How are they competing? That shouldn't matter. Then we explained to them that double brokerage is a big issue, and we said there's a federal rule that is being broken, and there's companies that are double brokering. By the time the load comes to the driver, there's no money in that load, and the guy that's working hard, the working hard American that is driving, that has the bills, has no money because the money is already divided upon other parties. So that being said, again, he asked Jim, what's going on? Is there a rule? He said, yes, there is. He goes, why is it not being enforced? He's like, well, I don't have the authority. We're working on it. We'll get something done. He's like, give me 5 setup packets from brokers. Give me 5 CEOs. I need to call these guys. Because whatever they're doing, they're not supposed to be doing it. So just by him saying that, and then he said, give me three ideas on how to fix these problems. And then he said, tell your guys, thank you for staying strong, and tell them they're ready to go home. I think we'll stay till tomorrow.
Yeah.
Kind of celebrate and then kind of gather as much information as possible, because we need to still get as much info to Department of Justice. He did confirm that they did start an investigation. He did confirm that they got our letters. They replied, and then I gave my letter, our Department of Justice letter that we presented to the Antitrust Division, to Jim, and Jim's like, oh, I got it. I'm like, oh, here you go, sir. Here's another copy. He also kind of mentioned regards my company. He's like, so you guys had some errors in your Apple file. I'm like, yeah, everybody did. And that's fixed. He's like, yeah, I see that. Kind of wanted to show me that, hey, he has control on the other side, which it's fine, And I think Jim will get things done on his end, and I think the administration will, we thanked them. We told them, hey, thank God, and we believe that Mr. Trump, the president, will make trucking great again. And he asked us, do we need to make new hats and say make trucking great again? I said, yes, you do.
Yes.
As soon as you do that, we'll put signs on our trucks.
Yep.
And he said, well, it's not political. But we said, yeah, it's not. It's about putting these people back to work. Yeah. So, Mike.
Yeah, I mean, what CJ said laid it out pretty good. It was a great meeting. There were some things in the beginning while we were sitting there waiting to go in that were
Hurdles that were,
yeah, some hurdles that we were tested. I can promise you that. It was there were some tough questions, and the thing that I've always told everyone while we were talking out here is we weren't nervous to go in there. We weren't worried, because what we can back up with truth and experience, they can't
Data.
they can't do anything about it.
Factual data.
We have actual real world data, real world experience in this industry and doing this stuff, and it proved it today because they tried. I can promise you, they tried.
And we told him that the small guys, that's 83% of the industry. And he's like, Jim, is that true? And Jim's like, yeah.
Wow, that's good.
And he looked at them and he looked at the other guy and they're like, yeah, we need to, do something. And we believe, he came in there, they already knew. They've been working, we found out that they've been working with Department of Justice ever since they received our letter. And they've been moving it forward. Now it has been officially assigned to New Jersey, because New Jersey is the one that deals with the, collusion, price fixing, and all that. And then they got the point that it's an antitrust issue. That's good, because that's what triggered that investigation into collusion. We kind of broke it down to them that how do we have these big mega brokers that are not asset based, yet their margins are flying out to the roof. And we understand it's a free market out here. You're entitled to make whatever you want on your side. Under no circumstances did they want to hear capping. They wanted to basically work more on transparency, and then they understand if they're going to provide the transparency, that you will see who's getting paid what. And if there's no double brokerage, you can see that. And another thing we said, you know what? We need this mandatory before the load is booked. And he looked at us like, yeah, that's not a bad idea. So, it was an awesome experience. Obviously these people know what they're doing. They're on our side. And like I said, as soon as he said to Mullen, present me, 3 good ideas, and we need to move on them. For us, it was like, wow, we're blessed, and thank God for this administration, thank God for this president, and thank God for this 2020. 2020.
That's right. It was a hell of an experience, I'll say that, and I'm honored that me and CJ got to go in there and represent you guys and the other 89.7% of this industry that they acknowledged in there, they understand now is not represented by the ATA, which is why they allowed us to come in there. It was great.
He did say that when he was on the Transportation Committee in Congress, he said, I thought that everybody worked with everybody, that ATA, TIA, they're all working together and they represented you guys. And he's like, and then when I came to the White House, I realized that, no, that's not the way it is. So he knows, the president knows, our agenda has been heard. We're waiting for, 3 different ways that they will fix it. And we believe that they're going to fix it. Yeah. And the investigation, so you guys need to send as much as possible. He did ask Jim to forward 5 setup packets, and then he did mention that what they're doing, working around the clause, is not right. They're going to work on that, but the more information we can send to Department of Justice, the better it will be for you guys. Yeah, yeah, yep.
Yeah, so I think the best part of that, CJ, was when Mr. Mullen brought up 371.3, and we explained to the chief of staff how they create private contracts to circumvent federal law, and he looked at him and he said, "Is that true?" "Yes." You need to fix that.
He told him that I don't want to put you on the spot, but what's going on? I don't want to put, he's like, well, I don't have the authority. He's like, give me 3, solutions or 3 ideas. We need those 3 ideas and we need to act on them. So that's good.
So for us, I think this is a pretty good step in the right direction. We're not going to call victory, but they understand that we have no representation except ourselves. They understand the issues, and they understand that we as Americans want this fixed as Americans for Americans. And if it wasn't for all of y'all coming out here and standing with us, me and CJ would not have had this opportunity. Right. So give everyone.
Yeah, he said that talking to him right now, the president is here. He's listening. He knows exactly what's going on here.
Yeah. The president is on our side. He wants us to succeed, and he doesn't want us to be overrun.
And a fact check, we did say, I mentioned, and I told him when the president was flying over, and before the president, when he stated that we're cheering him on, and we love him, I said, yes, that's true. We were cheering him on. We do love him. At the same time, we were sending him a message, SOS message. Please help, because this is our last battle. Most of these people out here can't go back to work unless something's done. They heard us, and we believe strongly that this administration, and he said that, hey, you know what? We actually get things done. And we said, yeah, we know that. So yeah, God bless America, and God bless this administration. And God bless you guys, because we did it all together. So round of applause for you guys. If it was not for you guys, none of it would be possible. We united, we pushed one agenda, one message. The president heard us, and that's why we have sort of a victory. And that, I'm gonna celebrate.
That's right. We won a battle, but we're still in a war. But let's go celebrate now, right? Come on. Trucker style.